September 1944. High above Europe, the sky vibrates with the sound of engines. Hundreds of American bombers crawl forward, slow, heavy, defenseless. Inside each aircraft, young men grip their oxygen masks, listening to the rattle of flak and the distant roar of enemy fighters. They know the odds. If German interceptors break through, there will be nowhere to run. Then something changes. A flash of red cuts through the clouds. Sleek fighters dive into formation, engines screaming, wings gleaming in the sunlight. Their tails are painted a bold, unmistakable crimson. And in that moment, fear loosens its grip. Bomber crews recognize the sight instantly. The red tails. A name whispered across the skies of Europe. A promise that today, they might come home. But here's the truth no one talks about. These pilots weren't supposed to be here. They weren't expected to survive combat, let alone dominate it. They were doubted by their own commanders, trained in isolation, and sent into battle with the weight of an entire nation's prejudice on their shoulders. So how did the men America didn't believe in become the men everyone trusted with their lives? That story begins far from Europe, on the ground, in the deep south of the United States. America is preparing for war, but not everyone is invited to fight equally. Inside the War Department, a dangerous idea takes hold. Not about strategy, but about race. Senior officers openly claim that black Americans lack the intelligence, discipline, and courage to fly combat aircraft. These beliefs aren't rumors. They're written into official military doctrine. Yet pressure is building. Civil rights leaders demand opportunity. Black newspapers demand dignity. And President Franklin Roosevelt, facing an election year, authorizes what the Army quietly calls an experiment. Train black pilots. Segregated. Isolated. Closely watched. The location chosen is Tuskegee, Alabama, far from prying eyes. An airfield carved out of farmland. Old aircraft. Limited resources. And instructors who expect failure. From day one, these men understand the unspoken rule. If even one of them fails, they all fail. Among the first cadets is Benjamin O. Davis, Jr., a West Point graduate who survived 4 years of total silence from his classmates.
No conversation. No handshakes.
Only determination. They train harder than anyone else. Not just to fly, but to prove they belong in the sky. Because for them, earning wings isn't about glory. It's about survival. North Africa. The desert sky looks calm, but it's a lie. This is where airmen come to die. The Tuskegee pilots arrive carrying more than gear and flight maps. They carry doubt, from their own commanders. They're issued P-40 Warhawks, rugged but outdated, slower than the German Messerschmitts and Focke-Wulfs waiting above. Even before combat, they feel it. White officers whisper. Bomber crews don't trust them. Missions given are quiet, forgettable, patrols over empty desert, ground strafing instead of escort duty. The message is clear: don't fail. Don't embarrass us. Then comes June 2, 1943. German fighters dive out of the sun. For the first time, the Tuskegee Airmen meet the Luftwaffe head-on. Tracers slice the air. Engines scream. Seconds stretch into lifetimes. No kills that day, but they survive. And survival in that sky is a declaration. A week later, Captain Charles Hall proves it. He locks onto a Focke-Wulf 190, squeezes the trigger, and watches it fall burning into the desert below. The first confirmed kill. The silence that follows is louder than applause. They can fight. They can win. But back in Washington, men with pens are already sharpening knives, waiting for a mistake. And the real test has only just begun. Early 1944. Italy. The war has moved north, and so have the expectations. The Tuskegee Airmen are reorganized into the 332nd Fighter Group. New base. New missions. Same pressure. Every sortie still feels like a trial. Not just against the enemy, but against history. Then everything changes. On the tarmac sits a machine unlike anything they've flown before. The P-51 Mustang. Long range. Fast. Deadly. Built to hunt. With its Merlin engine, it can climb with German fighters, outrun them, and stay with bombers all the way to Berlin and back. The aircraft every pilot in Europe wants, now assigned to the men no one expected to succeed. They paint the tails red. At first, it's just identification. Soon, it's something else entirely. Bomber crews notice. Red tails escorting us today. A quiet relief spreads through the formation. German pilots notice too. Dogfights erupt over Italy, Austria, the Balkans. The red tails don't chase glory, they stay close, glued to the bombers, breaking off attacks with discipline and precision. Their reputation grows fast. When the red tails fly cover, the bombers come home. By summer, whispers become reports. Reports become numbers. The men once called an experiment are now one of the most trusted escort groups in the sky. And the Luftwaffe is learning a hard lesson. Those red tails don't run.